holiday in Fraser at the football. I'm assuming it's still 1-0 with that penalty from Harry Wilson. And someone who was eagerly listening on that first section of us talking football was our live guest here this evening, Micky Beckett. Good evening.
Good evening. How you doing?
Very well, thank you. We were just talking off air there about your own football exploits.
Yeah, Solver under 12 before hanging up my boots. We did all right. We could beat some people, not Merlin's Bridge, and definitely not Goodwick.
Who was your coach down there? Anybody in particular? Some legend from Solver?
Yeah, Colin Reynolds.
Colin Reynolds was in charge. Okay.
Yeah, it was the taskmaster, I think. Yeah.
Do you still follow the football, or are you more rugby as you graduated into secondary school?
More rugby, to be honest. I then went and played for St David's. We went all right actually through until I was about 14 or 15, and then the whole sailing thing got a bit carried away and played less rugby.
I love that. In fact, Gordon, we're going to be talking rugby before the end of the show here. And Jonathan Fox-Davis has officially retired from rugby. We'll touch on that in a second. Micky, what was your position when you were playing? Did it take any inspiration from the centre with Jonathan Davis there?
Yeah, I was outside centre, but I used to play
exactly the same position.
Yeah, I used to play just outside a guy called Morgan Griffiths, who's fantastic.
Morgan was a very good player, yeah.
Exactly. So basically, the ball would get to him. He'd usually score.
He'd make a break.
I'd try and keep up. I usually couldn't, and that would be that. So I was outside centre. It kind of suited me, actually.
Oh, great! You were quite pacey then, were you? And strong in the tackle.
Yeah, weedy, I think, is probably what I'd call myself.
Well, you mentioned that sailing took over a little bit, and you're mentioning strength there. The picture that you sent through is you grappling with your sails, full body outside of the length of the boat. And of course, you came on just after your Olympic selection. You were one of the first to find out in Team GB that you were heading over to Paris.
Yes, so I found out about a year ago that I'd been selected. In sailing, they quite like to select early if they can. The criteria for getting selected is pretty tough to meet. Like, you sort of have to win a world championship medal and so on. But yeah, I managed to do that last year. So that was pretty exciting. So I probably had 10 months of prep. Thank you very much. Yeah, 10 months of prep before the Olympics. And in some ways it's nice because it gives you all that time. And in other ways you just get asked about it over and over again for like 10 months. You look forward to the Olympics. You're scared of the Olympics. And you just, lots of that. But no, it's cool. The whole thing was it was good fun. I enjoyed the build up.
Yeah, because you told us about you had been sailing. There was one particular sailor who had been pipping you to the post, and it was. I imagine the Olympics, for when you're in the sport, is it just another event, or is it? Oh no, this is the Olympics. I need to change something.
It's probably more of the latter. There's much more intensity because every national team that arrives really wants the best for their people. So everybody throws the kitchen sink at it. And it's actually the normal events I do, they're quite big. So the next World Championships I'll go to, for example, they're in China. We got 150 competitors, and each country can send about 3 or 4 people. So I'll go with my squad, which is the lads I train with, and we'll race against every other squad. Racing as individuals, but we still get 3 or 4 British entries. When you go to the Olympics, it's just one person per country. So I am the British representative. There is an Australian. There's one of each, and there's 45 entries, 45 countries represented. And that gives it a slightly more intense feel because the lads in my squad, they're the people I grew up with, and then they're not there, and everyone's a little bit more isolated. So I end up spending more time with your coach. But generally everyone keeps themselves a little bit more. It's got quite an edge to it. It's quite good fun.
What about let's talk about the Olympics just gone now, Micky. It was your first Olympics. Correct me if I'm wrong. I think you finished 6th overall, which is a fantastic position. You were probably hoping that it would have been a little bit better. Can you tell us a little bit about the experience you had going through the races, and tell our listeners what exactly happened going through the stages at the Olympics? Can you tell us about that?
Yeah, sure. So my event was basically towards the end of the Olympics. It lasted for 6 days. Got underway in the second week. It was incredibly hot. Like we were measuring like early 40 degrees and quite light. So like every day you just like, throw on a load of sun cream, you just be sweating all day. And the racing got underway. It was reasonably tricky. I didn't get off to the best starts. So day one, I think I was 11th. Day two was trying to kind of get it right, and I think stayed about 10th. I had a good day on day three and got like jumped straight up to second. But quite a windy day, big waves. That sort of suited me quite well. A little bit like home, but hotter.
Bit like Solvo, yeah.
Yeah. So got up to second, and then kind of went into the very last day in fourth position. And then we just had to do one race left, and so there's a reasonable chance of a bronze medal, maybe a silver. And the breeze was being pretty lethargic, pretty hot. So we spent an entire day sat on a beach, just cooking in the sunshine, waiting for some wind. And then came back the next day, waited most of the day. Finally got the race away, and basically we had 2 attempts at the race, so they cancelled the race pretty near the end because the wind was running out. And in that instance, I'd have won a medal.
Pardon, sorry about it. Does it have to be at a certain level, the wind, then, before you can actually sail? Obviously, it takes you along, but what is the least it has to be before you can race?
It's roughly about 5 miles an hour. It's a bit arbitrary. Right. They don't measure it exactly and cancel it if it falls from below that. But broadly speaking, you need about 5 miles an hour, which if you're not familiar with wind strength, that's a soft breeze. You walk outside, it's not dead still, but it's only a little bit more than that. Basically enough so we can move, right? Because we've got to be able to move to have a race. So if it drops below that, they'll cancel the racing. I mean, to be honest, racing when there's that little wind isn't that exciting. It's very sweaty because you have to throw the boat around, but you don't move very fast. So we're trying to get these races away. The first one didn't happen. And then when we went again, it just didn't work for me. They're short races. It's quite intense. Like you go on the water, there's just an insane number of ribs, camera boats. There's 2 helicopters just pounding away overhead. It's stinking hot, and there's quite an atmosphere to it. So yeah, in the end, slipped down to 6th instead of winning medal. Which I'm not embarrassed to say I had a pretty big sense of humour failure off the back of that. Came in. And rather annoyingly, my coach had lost my sunglasses, so I came in. I was like, Matt, the sunglasses I gave you earlier, I'm going to need them before I go ashore and see my team. And he just sort of shook his head and went, I'm really sorry, Mickey. I've lost them. So I was just like, oh, God.
Just one extra thing.
Yeah, coaches. Anyway. Yeah, it's went ashore, and there was quite unusually for sailing. I think it was like 10,000 spectators just sat on the beach, and like fair play to them because they were just there in the sun. Like my family was there all day, just getting absolutely cooked. But the support there was pretty cool. Rachel Thomas, my old PE teacher, head teacher of basketball, Penryn, she was out there. So yeah, I got lots of fantastic support. She was indeed, yeah. I mean, the experience is pretty special. Like the level of like emotion and passion on displays, you just don't find it anywhere else, really.
So obviously, you've experienced one Olympics. You're surely young enough now to go again. It's probably whetted your appetite. Pardon the pun, but there you
go. Yes. If you're asking if I'm going to try and go again, I will try and go again. I've got nothing else to do, honestly. I quite enjoy sailing my boat around. No, it's good. I mean, it's not a given. Like qualifying is really difficult.
No,
so,
I know.
Like I said, I have to qualify. I have to be the best person from the UK, which, given we're a pretty strong sailing nation, is in and of itself is really, really difficult. So, qualifying isn't a given, but I will try. I will go again, as they say.
Well, good luck with that. I'm sure you'll do it, mate. You'll do it, no problem at all.
Thanks, Gordon.
I have complete, you can definitely do it again. I'm not giving you a pep talk before you get out there and do it, but we know you can do it, Micky. You've won world championships, European championships. You're destined for Olympic gold. You go for it, mate.
Thank you. Thank you very much. If you could just remind me of that in about 3.5 years.
We're going to record it and send it to you, Micky, so you can play it whenever you're feeling a little bit down in the dumps. Because the organisers did come under criticism about putting it in the Mediterranean during the summer when it's blazing hot, and yet it doesn't seem to deter that support. And because it was the Paris Olympics, but you're far away, not as far away as the surfers. What was the overall experience like for you as an Olympian, but not being in Paris around all the stadiums and the swimming pools and whatnot?
It was a good experience. I mean, all the sailors that I compete against, I know most of them reasonably well. I know a lot of the coaches. So in that respect, it was quite similar. And then because it's Olympics, you have like an entire production team crawling around, videoing you doing absolutely anything. Anytime anything moves, there's, thousands of people watching it. So in that respect, it's a bit different. But you still feel very much like you're part of the Olympics. And when I'd be waiting to race, I go out and watch, flick the TV on and watch other people either sailing that morning or competing up in Paris. And then once we were done, we all got the train up to Paris. We went to the closing ceremony, watched a few other sports there, and caught up with the rest of it. And then I think sitting outside of Paris that whole time, you don't quite realize the scale of it. And then you go around some of the sites. We went to the closing ceremony in front of in the Stade de France, and you go, wow, this is actually quite a big event, and you don't quite appreciate until you're there. There's a lot of people involved in this. This is huge.
Yeah.
Yeah, what was that experience like walking around the stadium and being like, gosh, like I've competed at the Olympics? When was the moment that it kind of dawned on you?
Yeah, probably. I mean, the closing ceremony is amazing. I mean, everything to do with Team GB is literally like going on a school trip. Like they'll put you on a bus and they'll be like, do not wander off. Be here at this time. And you have to, because there's so many of us, you have to, like, going to the closing ceremony, had to queue up in the Olympic Village like 5 hours before it started. We then get bussed, whatever, like 10,000 athletes get bussed to the Stade de France, and we all just get like herded into the warm-up track. So you're just on this huge warm-up track, no cameras or anything, and you're just there with like 10,000 of the best athletes in the world just wandering around, and you're like, oh, that's that really famous, and that's that person, and everybody's in their team kit. So it's quite, you're all just kind of on parade, but it is very much like a school trip, and you get in lots of trouble if you wander off. And then you just get like herded.
Go on, tell us, Micky, who missed the bus home, mate? Who missed the bus home? Somebody did.
Certainly not me. And when before going into the stadium, you can hear all the noise coming out the tunnel, and every team's there, like lumped in their groups, and there's kind of 300 of the British. We were giving it Wonderwall, and like every other country's just doing their thing. No, it was cool. It's a very cool experience.
Yeah. Was there a particular Olympian that you're like, oh, I want to stand next to them when we walk out? I want to like get their autograph or something. Who were you fanboying over?
Oh, it's a good question. To be honest, I was just trying to be cool. It's just not cool to. Oh, I've watched you on telly. Can we get a anyway? No. We were actually. I think we walked out with the rowers, and they're quite easy to recognise because they're just like normal people, but twice the size. They're just huge people.
Yeah.
Quite easy to recognise.
Amazing. And so, of course, that was back in the summer. What's next? What's on the calendar? It's a good couple of months now.
Yeah, good question. So for the I don't know if you may have heard, for the last sort of month or so, I've been I've got the boat that I used at the Olympics, and I brought it home, and I did a raffle for it. So I was selling tickets for that for 10 quid. And we've just finished that actually. So we raised about 20 grand for a really nice sailing charity.
Wow. Well done, mate. That's brilliant.
Oh, thanks. But it was good fun because I mean, I'm not particularly a very good salesman, and so I was just going around all my friends saying, "Oh, come on, give me a 10. Give me a 10." Yeah, thanks. So that's actually kept me quite busy for that month. It's been good fun. And then actually, so we were selling tickets all over the country, and I tried to sell as many as I could when I was last in Pembrokeshire. So that'd be really nice, because part of the deal was that I would deliver the boat to whoever won it. Was that really nice if someone in Pembrokeshire?
Tell me it was somebody from Solva now, Micky.
No, that would have been great. As long as it was my old man, that would have been absolutely fine. No, it was actually someone from Bangor, Northern Ireland, right?
Wow.
I said, as part of this package, I wanted to get as many people to buy tickets. I was like, if you win a ticket, if you win the boat, I'll deliver it to you. Never in my wildest dreams did I think someone as far away as Bangor, Northern Ireland, would win this thing. So tomorrow morning, I'm getting up bright and early. Yeah, got to drive all the way to Liverpool, get the ferry, and go to Bangor, Northern Ireland.
Be easy just to sail across, Micky. You could do that.
It would, but how would I get home? Well, I guess I could fly home.
You could swim back.
Yeah. No, I'm going to get the ferry. Safer.
Well
that's very-
done. That's a great cause and a good sum of money. That's brilliant, mate. Well done.
And when you next competitively in the boat?
So I'm kind of working on my plans. I'm thinking of training from about January. World Championships, as I said, next year are in May in China. So I was thinking of kind of trying to, like, how long before then do I need to start training? I think 5 or 6 months should be enough time to kind of arrive there in decent shape. But also we can't really take that much of a break. Like prior to the Olympics in the year before it, the most I had off was maybe a week. Whereas now I get the chance to have a few months off and figure out what my life looks like without racing boats around in circles, which is probably worth doing.
Micky, thank you so much for joining us this evening and giving us insight into the Olympics itself, what you've been getting up to afterwards, your under 12s and football exploits and rugby. And it's been brilliant to catch up. And if people want to follow you for when you're back in these boats now in January, can they find you on social media or online? What's the best way to catch up with Micky Beckett?
Yeah, if you've got an Instagram account, unfortunately, that's probably the best place to find me. And I'm at Micky Beckett, Micky spelt without an E, M-I-C-K-Y, Beckett. And every now and again, if I feel I've got something to tell you about, I will do so.
Thank you so much. Any last questions, Gordon, as we've got him on the line?
Just wish you all the best for the future, Micky. You've been a credit to the county, a real inspiration, and good luck on your next Olympic journey.
Cool. Thank you both. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much. We're going to take a very short break, and then Gordon, we're going to look at Jonathan Fox-Davies retiring from professional rugby. Micky Beckett said he could give him a run for his money earlier on. Well, is he one of the greatest centres that Wales have ever produced?
Well, he's up there, isn't he? And Wales have produced quite a good few centres, but Foxy has longevity. He's in his mid-30s now. He's been on quite a few British Lions tours, been a regular for Wales, won Grand Slams, Triple Crowns. And, he is up there. He is a great player. He's a player's player as well. He's a bit of an unsung hero, not like his brother Cubby, who's up to all sorts of mischief. But yeah, he's been a great talisman for the Scarlets and obviously Wales and the Lions.
There you go. We're going to take a moment. We'll come back and we'll continue this conversation. Let us know your thoughts. Don't forget, you can use the PWR app and you can message us direct here in the studio. It's your Pure Sports Show with Eaton-Evans and Morris Solicitors.
Hello, everybody. Nurse Nellie here.